Hi everybody, it's Brad with Big Family Homestead, and in this video I am not kidding in any which way when I say that we are sharing with you a truly Big Family Homestead tradition, and it is delicious, it's amazing, it's cheap, it's easy, and that is called Christmas meat. So let's get to it. So at our house, Christmas is absolutely special for so many reasons. But one of the things that makes it special is our traditions, our family traditions. And this recipe that I'm getting ready to share with you is absolutely no exception. It is amazing, and we call it Christmas meat. Now, it's an old German recipe, and I don't know what the real name is out there. So if you know, shoot me a comment. I'd really like to know what it is. But originally, now we're gonna make a modified version, but originally what it is it's veal and pork that is roasted and then chopped up into small pieces and made into a delicious, rich gravy that you pour over warm baked bread. So if you know what that is, let me know what that is, but we call it Christmas meat, and we don't use the veal for lots of reasons. We don't like the idea of using veal. If you use veal, that's fine, but we find it just as delicious and a lot cheaper if you just use pork. So here's the way this is gonna go down. I'm gonna show you the ingredient list, and then we're gonna cook it up, show you what it's like, and of course I'm gonna have a few bites here and there. So let's get cracking. For phase one, you're gonna wanna find a boneless pork loin. You can get away with a pork butt. This pork loin is a little more tender. Try to find something with a good piece of fat on it. This is gonna go fat side up. But find a piece that works for your family. We have a large family, so we actually got a 3.5 pound piece. If you've got 4 people in your family, 1 pound would probably do it, but just determine what you need for your family. And other ingredients, we basically have over here 6 bay leaves. We have got 1 tablespoon of whole black peppercorn and 1/2 teaspoon of clove. Now, this is not an ingredient, but we've got some cheesecloth here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put these spices into the cheesecloth and make a seasoning bag. So that is an important thing to have as well. That's phase one. Now, in addition to those ingredients, we're going to need to roast our pork with 1 medium large onion, and this little guy's a little guy and this guy's on the medium side, so we're gonna call these 1 medium/large onion. You're also gonna wanna season it with salt and pepper and put it in your roasting pan, so that's what we're gonna do right away. Next up, we've got our pork in our roasting pan. We are going to generously season this with salt and pepper and our onion. Don't be bashful. Onion. You kind of just throw it in there willy-nilly. This is gonna help out the roast, and it's also going to be awesome for the gravy and the black powder. We're not making any explosives here. Black pepper. There you go. Now we're ready to roast. Okay, so now we're ready to put our pork into a preheated 375-degree oven. We're gonna roast it for about 40 minutes. Now, don't freak out if it's not fully cooked when you bring it out, because we're going to cook it for several more hours in the gravy. So if it's not completely done, don't worry. We're gonna get it up to temp. It's gonna be a-okay. Okay, so now that we've got our pork in the oven and roasting, we're gonna go ahead and get the ingredients from the first part back: our cheesecloth, our clove, our black peppercorns, and our bay leaves, and we're gonna make the season bag for the gravy. So I'm gonna show you how we put that together right now. So here we go. Seasoning onto the aforementioned cheesy cloth. We've got the clove, our bay leaves, and our peppercorns, and you just tie this up so that the stuff cannot escape. The goodness will not escape you. And when it's all tied up, it should look something like this. All right, cool. Okay, so moving on, let's talk about our ingredients for the gravy. Now, for our Christmas meat, we used a lot. We make a lot of it. So we actually use 2 quarts of chicken broth. We're using 2 sticks of butter, our seasoned packet, and a roux, which is flour and water. Now, the trick is this, is if you don't want to have so much, then you can cut it, do the math, you guys figure it out. But basically that's it. You've got your fat, you've got some broth, and you've got some roux, and you got some flavors. Here we go. Now, on the roux, it's basically flour and water, and you mix it together, and it's really important that you mix it so that there's no lumps. What we did is we started out with about 1.5 cups of water, and a cup of flour, and you just kind of add it till you get a consistency that looks like this. You want it lighter than a pancake batter, and since flour and water are pretty cheap, it's okay if you overdo it. You don't have to use it all as your thickener in your gravy, but there you have it. Okay, so we waited our 40 minutes. Now, don't freak out because this meat is not done yet. We're gonna take this out of the pan. We're gonna cut it up into small pieces after it's rested for a while. And then we're gonna actually make our gravy, put the meat back into the gravy, then the whole shooting match goes back into the oven for about 3 to 4 hours, and we will have culinary delightfulness. All right, the meat comes out. We're gonna let that rest, and we're gonna start making the gravy. First things first, our fat goes into our roasting pan. We want to do it in the roasting pan because all those wonderful juices are going to be in there. We just put it right on a burner. Get that fat going on a medium-high heat. And also let's not forget to put the onions that were resting atop the pork back into our soon-to-be awesome gravy. Now that the butter is nearly melted up, you're going to go ahead and put your chicken broth in. We want to get this whole thing nice and toasty before we start adding our roux and our seasoned packet. Now, while our gravy is getting happy, we're gonna go ahead and start cubing up our meat. Nice small pieces. Let's cut this joker up.
We'll have it for dinner tomorrow.
All right, now we've got our soon-to-be gravy boiling. You're gonna slowly add in your roux, that flour and water mix, and you're gonna make sure that you keep whisking like crazy, like a crazy whisking person. And you're basically looking for a consistency that's originally probably a little bit lighter than pancake batter because it's going to thicken up. And you only add little by little because you don't want to overdo it. You'll make mud, and that's not good. Now what we're going to do, we're just about there. We've got just about the right consistency. And we're going to go ahead and turn this down and add our pork back in. All right, now we take our cubed up pork. You can cut it really however you want. We try to make size pieces that are maybe a little bit smaller than a dime, and it goes into your gravy just like such. Oh yeah, soon to be delightful. And then once we've got this incorporated nice, we're gonna cover it up, put it back in the oven at 300. But before we do that, the most important part is our seasoned packet. Seasoned packet's gotta go in there. And it is going to make this whole thing come to life. Now we cover it up, 300 degrees, back into the oven. Now this is absolutely one of the keys to success with this recipe is using a fresh, delicious bread. I'm gonna pop up on the screen our recipe. This is an Amish white bread recipe, and trust me, if you think you can't bake, you can. It's not hard, and this absolutely is a well, let's just call it a little sweet angel kiss for this recipe. So now we've let our Christmas meat boil and simmer and be awesome in the 300-degree oven for, well, I think coming up on 3 hours. You can let it go. It's no big pressure kind of thing. You just kind of test it every once in a while and see, and then all of a sudden you'll hit this magic sweet spot. So check this out. Now this is what we call food heaven. Oh my gracious. You see the seasoned bag there? You can let that just steep if you want more of that flavor, or if you're content with it, pop it out, whichever you want. All right, the next thing you want to do is get your fresh bread, whatever kind of bread floats your boat. We like the Amish white. And tear it into nice little bite-sized pieces, and you are straight on a course for awesome. And now brace for impact. You've got bold flavors, nice pork, the clove, everything works together, and this stuff is absolutely sinfully amazing. Now for the moment of truth, Christmas meat. This stuff brings back memories like you would not believe, guys. Oh man. Miss you, Mom. All right, people, there you have it. Christmas meat. It is a special tradition here at our house. If you try it, please let me know how it turned out. It's simple, affordable, easy, cheap thing. It does take a long process. Oh yeah, and by the way, I was gonna say this. that if you have the intestinal fortitude, if you will, to wait and not have it the first day you cook it, this stuff gets even more amazing. I mean, I wouldn't let it go a week, but if you could wait till the next day, it just gets silly good. So there you have it. Share the video if you liked it. Please pass it around, like and subscribe it. I'm Brad with Big Family Homestead, and you guys have an amazing day.